What's up, guys?
Hey.
We are the Bees fam. For those of you that are maybe just seeing this for the first time, Bees is Brandon, Emmett, Everly, Easton, and Sammy. So all of our initials. So the reason why we wanted to jump on here and make this video is we wanted to share a little bit about like what our goals and our dreams are with this channel, and what we're hoping will come from it. Um, so we're gonna do a quick little, just information session on what we're hoping for. So, I think initially, like, we decided to make this channel, because, well, really, like, we just to get down to the real reason is we want to monetize it. We want to be able to make this a revenue stream for us. So there's a lot of things that we're hoping for. Um, we wrote down some like, just dreaming big, hoping for like brand deals, that we're able to make with brands that we love and already support. So we actually have like a dream brand deals. It's you can't see it, but it's on a giant post-it note on the wall over there. So just as a like a mention, I'll pick out some of my top picks that I would probably put on there. I would say like Skylight, Minnow, which we really love for Emmett, probably Everly eventually. Um, Rise, I love my Rise. Ascent Protein, Thorn.
Ultima for electrolyte.
Yeah. Um, Sam's. We shop at Sam's Club. We've actually done some stuff in the past with Hey Dude, so I'd love to like capitalize on that from like experience that we've had in the past with them. Um, yeah, Yeti, that would be pretty cool. Um, which ones up there stick out to you?
Like I said, Ultima for sure. Pumpkin and Ultima regularly throughout my day. Um, I think Dream Big would be Royal Caribbean since that's the only way we've ever cruised, and that would
Yeah.
just be really fun. And probably like Hobby Lobby. I agree with the Skylight. I just started using my Skylight, and I function with it throughout the day. Just use it for a different video.
Yeah. So, I mean, ultimately, what we're hoping is we're going to share about our lives. Obviously, I'm a business professional, own a business. I love surfing, fishing. We're parents. We're people of faith. We just, we love all those things in life. So, we're hoping that we can share about those things, share about the brands that we feel share our values or align with our lifestyle, and then hopefully be able to, create some partnerships with them. So ultimately, that's like one of the goals that we have for those. Um, and, just trying to find ways to monetize this channel. I have had experience with owning Seal Pro Painting. I got a brand partnership with our CRMs like probably 5 years ago, where I've had the opportunity to have their production team come down and film us multiple times and be paid for those things. I've done commercials for them. I've worked on, different marketing campaigns that they've had, and have been one of the actors for those. Um, I've had the opportunity to do social media projects with them where they've paid me for like one off projects on marketing campaigns for social media. Um, I've done coaching within their community. Uh, there's just a whole like list of things that that brand partnership has led to, and I would say that it's probably one of the one of the things that I look forward to the most being a business owner is really partnering with another company that I really believe in that has served us well and mutually supporting one another. So that's a lot of fun. So we're really just trying to take that same concept but apply it to this channel. Um, I think there's a lot of different content that we want to make. And I think for me, I see this like having a lot of different facets to it. I see it being entertaining.
Mhm.
I see it being informative and almost like taking a position of like coaching, sharing our experiences of success in whatever area it is, and sharing that with those of you that become part of our community. Um,
I think we hope to inspire others too through the hard times and how God brings us through it,
mhm.
as well as getting to celebrate life.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think there's a lot of learning that you do in challenges of life. Um, and so I think perspective is a big part of that. Um, but yeah, I mean, we really want to jump in, or at least the way that I feel about it is like covering so many different areas of life. And I kind of like section my life into 5 areas, and that's, my faith, my family, fitness, finances, and just overall health. And I try to look at my life in those 5 areas and try to just always reflect and get better in those 5 areas of my life. And I have obviously all of those are inspired by my faith, that being the most important one. I would say like faith is my thumb and it touches all the other areas. Um, and so I think that you'll see a lot of faith come out in our channel. I think you'll, you know, see a lot of good content. So I think the other side of, I think I have a tendency to be kind of serious. Um, and
Mhm.
um, but I think we're gonna like kind of get out of our comfort zone and do some of those like
I'm gonna make him do some of the fun, random like couples challenges
right,
and
yeah,
things like that.
yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's kind of sharing my thoughts on it.
I
You
think
know, I'm
another like side to it is being able to look back and reflect. Uh, it I know Brandon knows this. I don't know how many others know it, but I'm really great at taking pictures and then never sharing them with anyone. So like whether it be of our dogs or our kids or a fun moment outside or something, and Brandon will be like, "Hey, can you send me this picture?" And I'll throw on my phone to send it, and he goes, "Where did when did all of these other things happen?" And I'm like, "Oh, I forgot to share them."
Mhm.
So this kind of gives us a something to be able to share out and to friends and family and anybody else who cares to watch, as well as us being able to look back and reflect and go, "Oh, that was really fun," or "Oh, look how God brought us through that," or "Look where we started and where God took us to," and I didn't even realize that that small detail, sorry, was there. So I think reflection pieces are another piece that I'm looking forward to with it.
Yeah, that's really good. Um, I think that ultimately, like my personality is that I really love inspiring people, um, and to be their best and to experience the best that God has for them. And so I could see that being something that I really try to, um, encourage through this channel is like, hey, be the best follower of Christ that you can be. Like, don't just be nominal in your faith. Try and strive to have a great marriage. Invest in it. Try to get better. And really thrive in marriage, not just like, I hate the when people have these like talk about it being like a prison or a ball and chain or like talk
I'll
about
talk
it
about
and
the
yeah, honeymoons, yeah. Or just anything like that because I'm like there for us, I think we thoroughly enjoy marriage. I think we said this before, like there's nobody else. I want to spend my time with my wife. Like I'm not like trying to get away from her to go hang out with friends. Actually, I would say I probably don't really have any super close friends. I mean, I have guys that I talk to and have relationship with, but it's not like I want to get away from my wife to go hang out with them. Um, you know, so yeah, having a great marriage, I want to inspire dads to be present, for dads to be intentional in their parenting. And I think dads can kind of, there's like this image of them being like lacking affection, lacking a softer side with their kids. And like, so I kind of want to like tear that down, and just like encourage men to be present with their kids, affirm them, and like always like love on them, because I think that's a pretty powerful thing. I mean, when I think about how God is towards us, I don't see him as just being a father that's like, you know, um, elusive or not direct in his communication of love towards us. So, anyway, so being great fathers, um, and being leaders in areas of, I think two really important areas of our lives: finances um, and health. So um, we are no means by no means um, perfect in any of those areas. However, we do strive to do better, get better, challenge ourselves to always be growing. And so, as we live and learn, experience wins and losses, my hope is that we can share those with you. And, also at times get feedback. There's probably going to be those of you that have more experience in some of those areas than us. Like, if you've been married for 63 years, I want to hear about it. I want to know what kind of lessons we learned. If you're a multimillionaire, I want to know how you achieve that. If you went from being overweight to having abs again, I'd love to talk to you, because I've been on a fitness journey for years now and I can't seem to make it happen. And just all of those things, covering all of those areas. But we also want to just be able to inspire people on our journey. So um, I think we don't necessarily have like this polished idea of exactly what like every post is going to be and every topic. We're just hoping to, live our life out loud, live our faith out loud, and hopefully it inspires some people along the way. Um, what else would you share to that?
I'd say we want to hear from you. So like he said, you agree with something, comment on it. If you disagree with something, comment on it. I'm not a fan of shutting everything out, differing opinions. Like I think
Hmm.
part of how we all grow is we listen to a lot of different sides of the opinions to be able to take in and pick apart the little pieces that do work, because regardless of which side of the coin you're coming from, there's something good in it. So finding those good pieces to move forward with together, or just opening up healthy conversation. Um, we hope we can all be not be rude and not be aggressive in the comments, but definitely share your heart in the comments. And um, who knows who it might reach or inspire, kind of create or taking that sentiment beyond what we can do in the video.
That's good. Yeah. Hopefully, this is like I'm hoping it's just a really positive thing, but, of course, things in today's world can get kind of crazy. Um, and just to like share, I didn't really talk to Sammy about this, but, it's, um, it is kind of like crazy to think about doing something like this. And then, you think about what are the negatives that could come of it. Um, and I'm trying to, just see past the negatives that could be there, and just think of how do we make this a really positive place to learn and grow, share our good times or bad times and adventures and stuff like that. And I will say that I think there's something that I really have a desire to do, is to not be performative. Um, like, I don't want this to become something where it's theatric, or scripted. Like, if I were to like, just like, I can't tell you how many times I see people who like turn on a camera and they make a video and they're like crying on camera, and I'm like, I like cringe inside. Like, I don't want to do that, but if I do cry, just know that it probably is very real.
Yeah.
Because I don't want it to be like a theatrical thing or a performative thing. I just want this to be real, authentic. Us just trying to share our lives with you and hopefully encourage people along the way. So, yeah, yeah, maybe. Um, but yeah, and so for those of you who maybe don't know like a ton about us, really quick, I think we should share kind of what our backgrounds are, um, and a little bit of detail. And so why don't you start out kind of like share your background like professionally, um, and stuff like that. What you feel you bring to the table.
Well, uh, I guess things that influenced my background professionally is I grew up doing gymnastics and I was a D1 gymnast up at Towson University. And so naturally going from working out all the time, I mean, we were in the gym 20 hours a week plus, sitting
Very,
a week.
very disciplined.
And I laugh because when we met, I was in gymnastics and I was still competing. And he saw this like insane discipline, which I appreciate. But it's kind of like I didn't know anything different because I had been competing since I was like 8 years old. So I only ever knew, oh, you have practice, so that's where you're gonna be. But you have a meet, so that's where you're gonna be. And so I actually coming out of that experience, just like a lot of gymnasts experience, you kind of go, oh, wait, now I have so much more time. Now, what do I do with it? And trying to navigate that. And that took me into the fitness world. I worked as a personal trainer, group exercise coach up in Baltimore. When I came down here, I jumped in with Orange Theory and worked my way up from a coach to a head coach to a senior head coach to an area or a regional fitness educator to an area fitness coach amongst the studios in Orlando. And now I'm home trying to find my new way and excited about it. So I don't see the fitness side necessarily going away. It's just going to be uh, restructured and done a little bit different. And I think one thing that's exciting about it is that I've, for the last 8 years, done somebody else's program and I felt like there was a little bit of safety in it and that I didn't feel like I was going to get burnout with creativity. But because I've got 8 years backed up, that I wasn't necessarily having to create my own full program. I was just making edits and options off of the program already given to me. Now I get to sit back in the creator seat, and I've found a lot of excitement with that. And going, really, the sky's the limit because there's so much that you can do within a single workout, much less a program or group classes or individual exercises and education. So I'm excited about those things. As well as I've put Scentsy kind of on the back burner for the last several years since I started it, just looking for ways to get my own product because that was one of the benefits of being a consultant. And then we get a commission check here and there when I really leaned in even just a little bit. And now I have a little bit more free time to kind of have fun with that and connect with people on it. So I'm excited for those things. Anything that you can think of, Emma?
I would just say like I think Sammy is I don't think she really sees it herself because that was one of the things that I was so impressed with when I first met her was like I see this person who devoted her life to something like gymnastics. I saw how incredibly um, difficult it was, how hard it was on your body, the training that went into it, the early mornings, the workouts. Just I was super impressed, and I was like, "Holy smokes!" Um, and so, but not only that, she fails to mention some other things like she was a valedictorian of her high school class. She was like a standout in her major at her college and in her uh, school of study, I guess you would say. How do you say that word? Kinesiology? Kinesiology. So anyway, she's really great at what she does. Even her job and her career, she was really good. Very dedicated. And so I think I see those sides of you, and I don't think, she necessarily always gives herself the most credit. I think you're there's more in you than I think you realize. So much potential. I'm kind of like the exact opposite of her. I was not a high school valedictorian. In fact, I was the first kid in my family to graduate high school even. And that was strictly just because I made the decision that I wanted to. Like I watched all three of my other siblings drop out before I graduated, and even my younger brother. And so it was just like I just decided like this is something I need to do. Now I went to college and I dropped out of college. So
That's a whole other
hopefully
story.
now I did go to Bible college, but it wasn't accredited. It was just like a 2-year certificate program, so I can say I achieved that. But that was to go into full-time ministry. And so kind of my background is like I think I came from a lot of diversity at a young age. I had a really I would say like a decent childhood up until I was like maybe 10 or 11, until my mom and my stepdad got divorced, and then it just seemed like life really went downhill fast between the age of like 10 or 11 until I graduated high school. Experienced homelessness, living with different friends, living in hotels and all that stuff. And then, eventually graduating, going to college, but then dropping out. Just really that there were a lot of reasons there. Maybe in this, having this channel, I'll get to dive in and share more in depth on my personal story. But I'm just trying to, say like I had a very challenging childhood. Um, experience all of those hardships. And now I'm a small business owner. And so I think one thing that I bring, as far as like an inspiration to hopefully those who join in, is like the experience of facing like a lot of challenges as a young person, but kind of persevering through those hardships. My faith was a huge part of that, and getting me through that. And then it has been what has sustained me as a business owner. My faith and the fact that I experienced so much hardship as a kid. I knew what it was like to face incredibly challenging times, and I think at the same time, it's like a good and a bad. Um, at times, it's good because am I've experienced like the lowest of lows, um, and have had nothing. I've lost everything at a very young age, and just experience like life was still okay and life still goes on. Um, and but I think so that helps me in a lot of challenging seasons and has made me resilient. But at the same time, as a husband and a father, it's kind of a challenge because sometimes I struggle to like let go of control, and let God do what he wants to do, because I'm trying so hard not to let that become my kid's story, right?
Mhm.
The story of like losing everything, or the story of instability. And like I moved over 50 times by the time I was 23. I didn't really know stability until I met her and got married, and um, she grew up in the same house.
Yeah, my parents
That
still live in the same
Yeah, they
house.
still live in the same house she was born in.
Yeah,
Well, she wasn't
born
born in
into.
born into. Yeah, she wasn't born in that house, but that she grew up in. And so yeah, she brings a lot of stability. And that's what I love. Like I was like, man, I want to be with somebody, in choosing who I was going to marry. Is like I wanted to marry someone who had that stability.
Mhm.
And so she definitely had that. So um,
I think it plays into the whole
yeah,
concept and how God doesn't put two of the same people together. I think one thing we've learned a lot is when you have two people that are really, really similar, they actually don't get along as well. They actually just butt heads more.
Yeah.
And so it allows each of you to kind of like use your strengths to help bring their weakness up and vice versa. Um, Kind of like how the Bible talks about that in our weakness, God is our strength. He pairs us together in that marriage to help lean on each other while we lean on Him for those weaknesses that both of us have.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been a blessing to be married to somebody like Sammy. Because um yeah, if I was with someone like me, I say it all the time. I like there's no way I could do it. Like so anyway. Um God bless Sammy.
God
Um
bless you.
so anyway, that I guess at the end of the day, we're hoping that we can bring those things to the table, um and inspire those of you who follow along on our journey. So, any final words?
Hopefully you follow along and have some fun. Give us some feedback. And if you want to see anything as far as challenges, or if you want to hear about more about certain parts of our story, if any
Yeah,
of this
that's good.
sparks some interest and you're like, oh, wait, what do you mean that you were homeless for a section of your childhood? I want to hear about that. Or what do you mean you did D1 gymnastics? I want to hear about that. Like anything that we're talking about.
Yeah,
If you want to hear more, let us know and we can prioritize those things. Otherwise, we're kind of going with whatever comes our way that we get
yeah,
excited to talk about. So
yeah, that's really good. I mean, it will be super helpful. The more feedback that you can share, that'll just help us to really decide, okay, what kind of content do we share with you? Um, and like she said, anything that you want us to dive into more, just message us, comment, reach out to us so we know. And, hopefully you'll follow us on Instagram. That'll be somewhere we're posting a lot. We'll have a Facebook page and a YouTube channel. Maybe there's even the possibility that we would turn this into like a podcast. I already have a podcast for the business. But, maybe this would be another one we could do. But anyway, follow us, follow along, subscribe, share our stuff with people. And yeah, we hope that you enjoy it. And yeah, we will see you along for the journey. We'll see you next time. All right.